the terror. Alfred Hitchcock presents, followed by the Ray Bradbury Theater. Now your Saturday nightmares are twice as scary. Saturdays, starting at 10 on USA. Last year, you were terrified by House. Now there's a brand new house where every door leads to another dimension.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.
And every room...
The guy with the big gun goes first.
...is a room with a view. House 2, the second story. It's one fright up.
You're watching UA Columbia Cablevision of Westchester. This is the local station, Cable 3.
The following is a Cable 3 sports exclusive.
Traditional rivalries in Westchester, and now they have to rise to the occasion for a bowl game and a championship game.
George Hogband with a short kick. Ball is loose, and I think the Garnets have come up with it. They have. Big break for Rye. 10 from their own 32-yard line. They trail 7-0, and they'll give the football away. James Fracula, and he burst all alone down to the 30-yard line. Nobody's going to get him. He is gone.
Most of their yardage has been picked up through the air. Stagliano showing us he can throw the football. He's going to try to do it one more time. Across the middle, and this one's picked off by Goldstein. He's down the sidelines to the 10-yard line, cuts back inside, still on his feet. Touchdown, Mike Goldstein. What a great run. UA Columbia Cable 3 Sports presents the 1987 Section 1 High School Football Championships. And today in game number 2 of this 8-game package, it's a Class B championship as the number 3 Garnets of Rye meet the number 5 J.F. Kennedy Gales. And today's Section 1 High School Football Bowl Championship is being brought to you by the leader in local sports television, UA Columbia Cablevision of Westchester. Welcome once again, this time to daytime, here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon, the site of the 1987 Section 1 Championship. And hoo-wee, is it cold out here today. Temperature is standing at 24 degrees. The wind is blowing 17 miles per hour, gusting to as much as 23, making it feel like it's -5 out here. The skies are clear, the forecast for cold, and the field is hard. Hi, everybody. I'm John Carrillo along with Ray Karowski. Welcome to game number 3, I should say. Number 2 here on our Cable 3 sports schedule. Last night we put 2 in the books as Fox Lane defeated White Plains 8-0. And then in the nightcap, it was John Jay winning another bowl game as they knocked off Nanuet by a final of 13-0. Tonight, game number 2 in the Class B set, the Rye Garnets under the direction of Dino Gar, coming in with a record of 7-2, finishing in second place in League 3, and they will be taking on the Gales of J.F. Kennedy. They also at 7-2 overall. And as you saw in our open, this is a rematch from last year's bowl championship, a game won by Rye 14-12. But Coach, in essence, these two teams are getting second chances after some not so good finishes in the final weeks of the season.
That's right, John. The last game of the season for Kennedy was John Jay. They lost that game. They lost the title. And for Rye, they lost the Granddaddy High School Rose Bowl game against Harrison and the title. So what we have here this afternoon, we have a game of character where the coaches have to regroup their troops and do battle one more time for pride and respectability. And we're going to see two fine quarterbacks out here. Brady of Kennedy, who threw for 11 touchdown passes throughout the season, and Riebling for Rye, who has thrown for over 1,000 yards his sophomore year and also this year.
Well, as we mentioned, both teams finished up in second place in their respective conferences. Here's a look at the final regular season standings in each of their conferences, and we begin with Rye in League number 6. Harrison beating the Garnets a week ago, finishing undefeated in the conference. Rye game back at 5-1. Then Portchester, who Rye defeated for the first time ever this season. They had 3-2-1 in conference play. Then Tappan Zee, Nyack, Woodlands, and Sleepy Hollow. And as you can see, League 6, a mixture of Southern Westchester schools and Southern Rockland County schools. Now, JFK from Somers, they play in League 4 during the regular season. They also finished in second place, losing to John Jay a week ago, so they are at 6-1. And this league basically made of upper Westchester and Putnam County schools. And it's a pretty good league as well, with Brewster, Hendrick, Hudson, Somers, Panis, Peekskill, and Beacon. So John Jay and JFK running the league this year over in League 4, and the Gales finishing in second place. This will not be the first time for either of these teams here at Cable 3. Of course, we've had a chance to see Rye a lot more than JFK, but we watched them both play a year ago.
Tonight's Class B championship is a rematch from last year's Bowl Extravaganza. The Gales, making their first bowl appearance since 1973, fell to the Garnets 14-12. Kennedy and coach Bob Middlestat continue to look for their first bowl crown. Rye may be at a disadvantage in tonight's contest, all because of a little country rivalry known as the Rye-Harrison game. The Huskies prevailed last week 6-0 and denied the Garnets the League 6 championship. Before last weekend's setback, Dino Gar's group were clicking on both sides of the football. Rye had taken care of all comers, except Byram Hills, with a terrific offensive mixture. Scott Newman was running the ball well, which meant the defense was doing a lot of running as well. And quarterback Scott Riebling was throwing the ball like a seasoned veteran. And he has plenty of sure-handed receivers to go to. Defensively, the old spirit of the Junkyard Dogs was reemerging, and opposing teams found those black jerseys in their backfield all afternoon. The two games Rye has lost this season were by a total of 11 points. Not much in football. The Garnets' bowl history has been most impressive. This is their 5th straight appearance, and since 1983 have won 2 and lost 2. 1985 was a crowning achievement for Rye, defeating previously unbeaten John Jay 7-0 and laying claim to the Class B title and #1 ranking among the small schools. The Garnets will be gunning for their 3rd straight bowl victory this evening, and a win tonight may take a little of that bitter taste still left after the loss to their arch rival.
Both teams have made some appearances here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. For Rye, this will be appearance number 9. They're 5th in a row. They've won 6 and lost 2 in championship play. While the J.F. Kennedy Gales out of Somers, this will be their 2nd straight appearance, number 3 overall, and they are 1 up and 1 down. On Cable 3 television, JFK has only appeared once. That was last year, losing to Rye in that Class B championship. The Garnets, on the other hand, since 1981 on television, 6 up and 6 down, but a personal streak of 7 straight wins for Dino Gar was ended last week over at Harrison, and he was none too pleased about that, I can tell you. All right, a few moments ago, we had an opportunity to talk with both of the head coaches to find out a little more about today's game, and in particular, what happened in last week's finales. Coach Middlestat, you're coming into this bowl game losers of your last 2, including last week's championship loss to John Jay. It's been a tough week of practice for them getting ready for the game?
No, contrary, they were really up for this week. They were really excited about being in the bowl and wanted to come back against Rye. We're happy we got the draw for Rye. And I think we learned a lot last week against John Jay. The kids really played hard. We just had a few mistakes hurt us, but we played good, solid football. I was very happy with them.
You pleased with the season as general? Did they reach your expectations this year?
Well, their goal was to get back here and to have a good season as well as last year. And if they win today, they will have exceeded their goals and met their goals for this year.
Terrific. Coach Gar coming off of the win against, or the loss, I should say, against Harrison. I guess wishful thinking on my part. Anyway, the week of practice leading up to this bowl game, how tough was it for the kids, and have they put that loss behind them and are ready for this game?
Well, they have to put their loss behind them. The week was very tough. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that we had a real great week of practice. But you know, obviously, we're one of the few teams that have been able to get to this position in the bowl game, and one of our goals is to strive for this. And I think the players have to start to realize that we've got to, come and play, and I'm sure they will.
All right, with your fans outside of the stadium, today this is going to be Rye's 5th straight bowl appearance, your 4th in a row, and then going back to Westlake, there's a couple there as well. How important is this game for the kids in terms of making or breaking a season?
Well, I think it's important in the sense that you've gotten here, you put a lot of effort and work to get to this position. As I said, there's over 50 schools in Westchester County that want to get there. This is one of their goals. So as far as the seniors are concerned in particular, this is a chance for them to go out and as winners, because they really deserve it. And I'm sure John, JFK is doing the same thing.
And our
win or lose, we put a lot of good effort into
congratulations to the two coaches who said they were going to stand here and not show you that they were cold. They are cold, as are we. But a nice job done by both of those gentlemen. Now, let's get to the meat of this pregame show. This is where Kurowski shines, where we take out the keys to find out what team has to do what to come up a winner in today's ballgame.
Okay, the keys for Rye. First of all, they must have field position. That's one thing they did not have against Harrison. Secondly, they must maintain drives using the run and pass. Now, I did this last night, but with the winds, the pass, there's a factor to be taking place right there. So they're going to really have to establish the running game. Coach Gar is going to have his players ready. Emotionally, there's a tough loss to Harrison, and there's nothing like the Rye-Harrison game. The players can be down for a week or even 2 weeks. So Coach Gar is not an X&O coach this past week. He is more like a psychologist. J.F. Kennedy must establish the fullback. James Ferguala has to have a great game along with the line. This one will enable them to control the ball, and they are bigger than Rye's line because Kennedy's average lineman is 215 pounds. They must contain Rye's quickness so that they do not get to the outside, and they have to pressure Riebling, a great quarterback, and stay close to Drady because he is an outstanding receiver.
He had a great catch in last week's game against Harrison when it looked like Rye was about to roll down the field. But as we told you, they came up on the short end of a 6-0 score. With thanks to Vito Priori and the Section 1 Bowl Committee for my headgear this afternoon, we're really going to need it because, baby, it is cold outside. Stay right where you are. In just a moment, when we continue here at Cable 3, straight ahead, we've got Section 1 Bowl fever. We may all have a temperature of 102 by the time this evening comes to an end, but we're ready for Ryan J.F. Kennedy, and we'll have the opening kickoff in just a moment.
MTV's shooting a new kind of TV show, and you're invited. Forget everything you know about game shows and meet our slightly deranged host who's turned his basement into a tribute to television and pop culture. Anything can happen. So if you're 14 to 35, you can come over to his basement and watch MTV Tape Remote Control live. Your local cable operator has 100 pairs of tickets for you to be in our studio audience. Here's how you can get yours.
Now for 4 days only on the Disney Channel, you can watch all the programs for free. Kids Incorporated, Animals in Action, family movies like Heidi, Danger Bay, classic Hollywood films, Garrison Keillor, Rick Nelson, A Brother Remembers, The Point, College Bowl 87, plus much more. But at the end of the 4 days, this is all you'll see unless you call to subscribe to America's family network, the Disney Channel. So call now.
Well, the teams are out on the field, and yes, it is snowing here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon as we welcome you back to the beginning of this third Class B championship. Actually, the second Class B, the third Section 1 Bowl championship we've had so far this weekend. And as we mentioned in the pregame show, this will be a rematch from a game played 1 year ago, a 14-12 win by the Rye Garnets. Out on the field, as you can see, they're getting the opening coin toss underway and now completed, and that gives us an opportunity to show you the men in the black and white striped shirts who will be responsible for law and order out there today. Look at that snow. Is that a great shot?
This is football weather. This is fine. It's like playing in a Minnesota, the co-regents of Pennsylvania, where they play their 10th game the first week of December.
There you see the crew: Jack Hall, John Palacio, Jim Kamalski, and Dick Gagne. And they will be working today's game. And the other guys who will be responsible for the game as well are the two gentlemen along the sidelines. And we got a nice look inside of the Rye huddle. Dino Gar in the middle of that mess. Dino, who's in his third season, or actually his fourth season, as the head coach of the Rye Garnets. This is second tenure at Rye. In between, he had some very successful years at Westlake High School, including a bowl championship a few years ago, as a matter of fact, against the Rye Garnets. And on the other side, we've got Bob Middlestat in his fourth season as head coach, a career record of 21 wins and 16 losses, 7-2 this season. But as we mentioned in the pregame show, they are losers of their last two. An upset to Peekskill, 29-14, and then in the season finale, 26-12, the final against John Jay.
And last year, Kennedy was ranked 5th in small schools with a record of 8-2. Rye last year was tied for second place with Irvington in the small school ranking with a 9-0-1 record. Now, Dino Gar has an overall record of 74 wins, 31 losses, and 2 ties. He is winning 71.1% of his games.
All right, so we're about set to begin this game, as Rye will be kicking it off to J.F. Kennedy. Bob Follett, number 84, will be kicking it and setting back deep for the Kennedy Gales out of Somers, New York. You have number 30, Kevin Torrey, and number 81, Steve Rossi. So Mr. Auld blows the whistle, and this B championship is underway. That's a kick that takes a nice bounce back into the field of play. Kennedy will field it. Rossi tries to cut up the middle, and the Garnet defense right there to drop him at the 21-yard line, and J.F. Kennedy will go on offense, 1st and 10. We take a look now at the offensive set for the Gales. At quarterback, 5'11" senior number 10, Doug Brady. The halfback, John Costello, number 15. The fullback, James Fracula, number 44. The wingback, number 42, Walt Grabelkis. The tight end, number 40, Dan McNamara, 5'11" senior. And the split end, number 82, is Rob Saraga. He is a 5'9" senior. Offensively, the Gales use 9 seniors and 2 juniors. 1st and 10. To the ground game, Fracula with the call, and he is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Garnet's defense doing a nice job converging and getting in on that tackle. Ray Delacoli, number 64. The offensive line for the Gales. At left tackle, Eugene McCarthy, a 6-foot junior. Tom Courtney, the left guard, number 50. The center, 55, Chris Hansen. The right guard, 66, Rob Garnsey. And the right tackle, Dan Donovan, number 70, a 6'2 senior. And that offensive line averaging 6 feet, 205 pounds. Fracula again, a little hole this time opens up off of right tackle, left tackle, and the ball coming loose, but I believe the officials have whistled it dead. And Fracula will get credit for the carry, bringing the ball up to the 29-yard line. And that is a gain of 7. And it'll be 3rd down and 3. Defensively for the Garnets, 4-man front, Ray Delacoli, Trey Flood, Anthony Sabona, and Bob Follett. The inside linebackers, Ken Larson and Jerome Kenny, number 46 and 42. On the defensive side of the football, the Garnets use 7 seniors and 4 juniors. Little discussion, so let's move right to the final page of the defense for the Garnets. They'll go with 2 outside linebackers, Frank Consoli and Greg Dratty. The cornerbacks, Rich Mascali and Eric Erzbland. And the safety, number 20, Ricky Lehman, who had a very big fumble recovery in last week's game against Harrison. Big down for the Gales here early. 3rd down and 3. And Brady to throw. Intercepted. Picked off by Larson. And he goes down at the 24-yard line. And the Garnets are in business. 1st and 10, deep in J.F. Kennedy territory.
Now, number 46, Ken Larson's a senior, 6'5", 205 pounds. Watch him get up right there. 6'5", running, trying. Now, you got to stay to the outside now. Don't try to come into where the traffic is. He's a tri-captain for Rye. He plays on a baseball team. He was all-section of basketball. He's a quality football player, a college prospect.
Steve Riebling brings the club up, 6'2" junior quarterback, his 2nd year as the starter for Dino Gar and his Garnets. and they'll go to Trey Flood, number 44, the junior fullback on the first play. And Flood gets a short gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Offensively for the Garnets, Riebling the quarterback. The fullback is Flood, 6-foot junior. The tailback, Scott Newman, and a good one. He is also just a junior, standing 5'10". Frank Consoli, the wingback, number 14. The split end is Greg Dratty, great hands. And the tight end, number 46, Ken Larson, 6'5" senior. And Larson already with an interception in the books. 2nd down, and we'll call it a long 7. Riebling had a tough day throwing the football last week. Only managed 3 completions in 20 attempts. And for the 2nd straight time, they go to the ground game. And not a whole lot there. Scott Newman getting the call. And Kevin Condon on the tackle, number 51. And no gain, a loss, as a matter of fact, of 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Defensively for the Gales, they work with a 5-man front. We've got the offensive line for the Garnets, Anthony Malloy, Ray Delacoli, Dan Greto, John Dornick, and Mike Waltman, number 75. That offensive line averaging 6 feet, 187 pounds. And offensively, the Garnets use 6 seniors and 5 juniors. So this team really built for the future. 3rd down and 8. Riebling to Newman, looking for a hole off of right tackle, and gets a nice gain up to the 15-yard line. He'll be very close to the 1st down stick, but he's going to come up about a half a yard shy. So give Newman 7 on the carry. It'll bring up 4th and 1. And we have a whistle on the field and a quick timeout to be taken by Dino Gar and his Garnets, their first, and they will have 2 more remaining. So while we have the opportunity, let's quickly run through the defensive set for the Gales. 5-man front. Dan McNamara at end, Rob Walker, one of the tackles, Kevin Condon, the nose guard, Dan Donovan, the other defensive tackle, and James Fracula on the other end, number 44. And the linebacking core for the Gales, there'll be 3 of them. You've got Kevin Torrey and Tom Courtney, along with Roger Johnson. The 2 cornerbacks will be Walt Rebelkis, Rob Saraga, and the safety, number 85, is Mike Richmond. And defensively, the Gales use 8 seniors, 3 juniors, and the line averages 6'1", 197.
Now we're going to have to watch for Dino Gar giving that ball to Scott Newman. He's a junior, 5'10", 185 pounds. He's a power runner with good speed. He's the 5th leading scorer in Section 1 with a total of 74 points. Scored 11 touchdowns, and he has 8 extra points. He is the workhorse. You got to key him, watch him. If he gets past that line of scrimmage, he can ramble.
So Dino Gar coming back to the sidelines, and obviously has decided to go for it. 4th, and they're calling it 2.
Watch 41, Scott Newman.
Ball at the 16-yard line. And it is Flood, the fullback, and he has the 1st down and struggles to the 10-yard line. 7-yard gain by Trey Flood. And that is 1st down, number 1 for the Garnets. It'll be 1st and goal.
Now Trey Flood's a junior, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Look at him going off tackle, power, breaks 1 tackle, and it's very hard to bring him down. Just fighting for that 1st down. You have good running backs, great juniors, good athletes on Rye's team. Look out for them next year. Whew.
So after the interception, the Garnets picking up a 1st down and now have about 9.5 yards to get to the end zone. Back to the ground game. Flood, gigantic hole right up the middle, and he goes in virtually untouched as the Garnets take the early lead, 6-0. Very simple.
Boy.
You key on Newman, Flood gets the opening.
They have the backs that can run. Look at this, a trap play. The right guard is trapping, opens up the middle. Flood runs right through, wide open, going for that end zone. What a thrill to score in a bowl game. Just to get into that end zone, it's a great thrill for a back. Can you imagine if a lineman picks up a fumble or an interception and scores? Great thrill scoring in a bowl game.
All right, Jerome Kenny in to attempt the extra point. Ball is away, and it is good. So with 7:29 remaining to play in quarter number 1, it's the Garnets who strike first, courtesy of a Gale turnover, and they lead 7-0.
and they scored with the trap right up the middle.
Boy, that was a hole that Karowski could have run through.
Boy, anyone could have gone through there. A Mack truck could have gotten through. But what the amazing thing is that the linemen are coming through. They're executing their blocks. They're quick. They're sticking with their man. They're driving them out. Now, that was all because of the interception that Larson had, and he set it up. Now, taking advantage of a turnover. That's what you have to do in a ball game. Once there's a turnover, capitalize on it.
Drive that took 2 minutes and 37 seconds for the Garnets after the turnover, and they lead 7-0. Follett again with a volley floater from Follett. That's a live ball, still loose on the turf. It's Garnet football. A knuckleball by Bobby Follett, and the Garnet or the Gale up back couldn't get a handle on it. It's really cold, and that field is rock hard, and that's going to make the football do even more spectacular bounces.
And John, you are exactly right. On a kickoff, once that ball goes 10 yards, it's a free ball. It was touched, it doesn't matter, but once it goes 10 yards, it's a free ball. It's anybody's ball. Now, right there, anybody's ball. You go get it. It's a free ball. There's the hustle. The ball's bouncing around, and it comes up in the arms of Rye. Another turnover. Good field position. I said this in the Keys. If they get the field position, don't capitalize on it.
Second time deep in Gale territory. They begin to drive. Here is Newman, and Newman with a nice hole as the offensive line doing another good job. Newman across the 20 down to the 18-yard line. A gain of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. Scoring summary for the Rye Garnets on their previous attempt. They're looking good here. 5 plays and 24 yards. 2 minutes, 37 seconds. Flood, the fullback, a 10-yard run. Kenny kicks the extra point, and Rye goes on top 7-0. And they are threatening once again as Riebling brings the club up, faced with a 2nd and 2 from the 18-yard line. 6.5 minutes left first quarter. You can see the wind whipping down on the field. It's Newman again. Finds the opening, stays on his feet, and gets down to the 4-yard line. Good for a first down.
Well, you have good backs for Rye. You have Scott Newman, a junior, Fled's a junior, Riebling, the quarterback's a junior. Now, let's watch the blocking here. This is the key. Look at the blocking by 44, opening up that hole. That was Flood on that block, kicking out on the defensive end, or he could have been a linebacker coming across the line of scrimmage.
Roger Johnson, the last man there, and was able to bring Newman down before he got it in the end zone. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Newman, Flood the lead blocker. Newman tries to cut it up, and he's in. A 4-yard touchdown run by Scott Newman. And the Gales lead, or the Garnets lead 13-0.
You see Scott Newman right here going off tackle. He has a lead blocker, an isolation play, comes through and scores. You have Flood scoring, Newman score. You know, one back, give it to the other back. Great versatility on the Rise offense.
Kenny with the extra point attempt, and he is a perfect 2 for 2. So with 5:47 left now in the first quarter, the Garnets on fire here early. They lead 14-0.
And they capitalize on turnovers. The first touchdown came by interception Larson, and then on the kickoff, they got the free ball, and they take it in for another touchdown. And it's that field position. Once you have good field position, you can run off tackle outside. You can really let everything hang out. You know, use your entire package.
A 1:44 drive, 1 minute and 44 seconds for the Garnets, so they're not taking a whole lot of time, but they're putting a bunch of points on the board early. And in this Class B championship, Garnets trying to close the season on a winning note. Actually, both teams are. Kennedy, losers of their last 2. Rye lost to Harrison a week ago. This is a high kick, and taken in by Rob Saraga at his own 15, and he goes down at the 25-yard line. And Kennedy, for just the second time of the game, will go back on offense, trailing 14-0.
You know, this is what I was thinking about last week. Rye's defense against Harrison did a tremendous job. It was up to the offense to win the game. The defensive job is to keep the score down. The offensive job is to win the game. They kept Harrison to 1 touchdown. The offense was a little bogged down, but now in the bowl game, they're really showing what they can do.
So now that means Doug Brady's got to really start to get this club rolling a bit. And they'll try with their big back, Fracula, number 44. And he gets a nice gain of 4 yards up to the 35-yard line.
James Fracula is a senior. He's 6'1 and a half, 215 pounds, the tri-captain of the team. He's the strongest man on the team.
Rob Saraga split to the top of the screen. It's Fracula again. And this time the defense did a nice job sliding across the line of scrimmage. Kenny Larson comes up to make the stop. A gain on the play of, we'll just call it 2 yards. Make it 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Scoring summary for the Garnets on their last drive. 3 plays, 25 yards. A minute 44 ended up by Newman with the 4-yard run. Kenny hits the extra point. Rye leads 14-0. Brady to throw. Across the middle, dumps it off, and it's completed. Dan McNamara makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and that will be good for a Gale first down, pickup of 8 yards.
You see, Brady's right here. It's a drop back, 7 steps. There's the pass. He got on the second bounce. Now, I was watching number 50, the right guard for Kennedy, doing a good job of blocking Tom Courtney.
Fracula. A muscle gain close to the midfield stripe. Frank Consoli, number 14, trying to wrap him up. And Fracula will get a gain of 4. Gales getting their first down of the day. 4:08 left to go in this first quarter, and Rye on top, 14-0. You can see the snow coming down. Flurries here this afternoon. And Fracula gets the ball with nothing doing there. Greg Dratty, number 89, makes the hit and drops him right at the midfield stripe. They'll give him 1 yard, and it will be 3rd and 5.
Now, number 50, the right guard for Kennedy, Tom Courtney, is a senior, 6'2", 230 pounds. He's the tri-captain. He's like an old-time football player. He's hard, hitting, tenacious, and he's an excellent blocker. I'll get back to him a little later.
Brady, sideline route, intercepted by Dratty. Greg Dratty stepped right in front of the intended receiver, McNamara, and picks it off. Turnover number 3 for the Gales, all in this first quarter.
Now you're going to see Dratty here. He's going to cut the angle. When that ball's thrown like that on the angle, he comes right in front of it straight, gets the interception, good hands. You have to concentrate that ball right into your hands. Dratty is only a junior, and he puts the fear into opposition when he's on that offensive line, but he does a great job defensively. He's an outstanding receiver.
Such a big guy, too. 6'4", 185. What a great size split end.
What a college prospect.
Yeah, just a junior. Here's Flood. Another hole. Flood struggles ahead and gets it down to the 41-yard line. Another Rye first down. 13-yard pickup for the fullback.
This is what you call a tenacious runner. He is hit, he's still moving, bouncing, hopping, skipping, trying to pick up that extra yardage. That's what you call bulwark, tenacity. It's the old workhorse on a field with plowing all day until the sun comes down.
Newman. And a nice play made there. First real big defensive play made on the day. Tom Courtney, number 50, senior linebacker, scooted in untouched. and got to Newman from behind.
And Tom Courtney is a tough lineman and a defensive linebacker for Kennedy. He had 3 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, and 3 sacks. He was in on over 100 tackles. He is a Division I football prospect. He was selected by the Putnam Trader as the player of the month in October. And that's not whistling Dixie, because usually the backs get it, and he's a lineman.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11 from the 42. Flood bounces to the outside. The hole I think he was looking for was off the left tackle, and there was nothing there. And he just tried to feel his way to the outside and spun ahead with, or in the grasp, I should say, of McNamara, number 40, and Flood gets a gain of 2 yards, bringing up a 3rd and 9.
He is really running great this afternoon. He's got tremendous foot drive. His feet are quick. It's like the lineman, you know, opening up the gates, and here comes the Flood.
It's a great piece of strategy by Dino Gar. You knew the Gales were going to start the key on Newman, and he goes with a fullback and really starting to make it pay off for him.
There's no doubt about it. Dino Gar is an excellent coach. He's a great coach.
Riebling completes it. You can as Karowski would say, you can hear that leather cracking down there. Ken McComb, number 82, makes the reception, and he was met head-on by Kevin Torrey, and they're going to come up a yard shy of the first down stake.
Now, Riebling has a nice touch on the ball. Right here, good quick release. The ball has a nice spiral to it. I was up watching him practice. He really impressed me throwing. In the Harrison game, maybe he was just up a little bit too tight, but he wasn't accurate. But he is going to be a great quarterback. He has to get a little bit quicker feet, and he's going to have to take a lot of punishment, because next year they're going to be putting pressure on him. They're going to be banging him up and get a little bit stronger and work on that quick release, and he's going to be a superb quarterback. And if they have a great year, watch, this guy might be an all-state quarterback.
There you get a look as the chain crew comes across the field, and they'll be a yard shy of the first down stake. Garnett's still trying to keep this drive alive. You talk about Riebling. He really did have a tough day last weekend. It was 4 of 20 for 70 yards, but 33 of those yards came on his final completion to Droughty along the sidelines, and then the play following that, he threw his 4th interception of the day, which virtually ended the ball game right there.
He does. He throws a nice pass. And the one thing that you're going to have to understand, even the youngsters that want to play the game of football in a backfield, you're going to have to really learn or work hard, develop yourself, build yourself up, and be prepared to take physical punishment, because you're having defensive linemen and linebackers that are lifting weights, they're getting stronger, they're getting faster, and they're going right through backs. So you have to be prepared to take that physical punishment and also to dish it out.
So the Garnets will go for it again. 4th and 1. Final half minute of this first quarter. Rye leading 14-0. It's Flood, has the first down, and then some. To the 27-yard line. 5-yard gain for Mr. Flood. First down, number 4. And they will stop the clock to move the chains with 17 seconds left.
Okay, now this play, what you're going to see, it's the Washington Redskins play. They pull to guard and the tackle. See the right guard tackle pulling? The guard will kick out. The tackle leads it up the hole, and there goes the runner right behind him. It's a good play. It's excellent. You pick up the yardage, and boy, once you execute those blocks and you have that back breaking it into that open backfield, there's a possibility of a score.
Well, they won't be able to get the next play off, but they're still going to have the football. The first quarter has come to an end here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon, and in this Class B championship, the Garnets exploding for 14 points off of 2 Kennedy turnovers to lead 14-0 as we move to quarter number 2.
There really is only one way to stay on top of all of the high school football action in Westchester, and that's with Cable 3 Sports Extra Points. I'm John Caridio, and every week the Cable 3 Sports team covers the gridiron like no one else. We'll have highlights from all over. We'll visit with coaches and players, give you the weekly top 10s, and a complete look at the big games yet to be played. So join me every Tuesday night at 7:30 for Extra Points. We'll give you the score.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. John Caridio along with Ray Karowski and the Cable 3 sports team. And we're also being ably assisted today by Mr. John Malnati, member of the Westchester Officials Association, sitting up in our booth today. Has nothing to do with the fact that this is the warmest place in Mount Vernon today. He's here to keep us in line, no question about it. 1st and 10 for the Garnets, opening play of the second quarter. Riebling fakes first, gets it to Flood, or Newman rather, and he was really belted. Kevin Condon, number 51, the nose guard, lowered the boom. No gain on the play for Newman. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Big story in that first quarter, the Gales with 3 turnovers. An interception that led to a Rye score, a fumble on the ensuing kick, and then another interception, which may lead to the 3rd score. Garnet's working off of that turnover right now. 2nd and 10. Dratty split to the near side. Consoli's the wingback. Newman and Flood the setbacks behind Riebling. It's Newman. Another hole opens up, and Newman goes down to the 25-yard line. That's a short gain of 2. And we've got a 2nd down and 8 coming up. Coach Dick Gudwillig of the Westchester Rockland newspapers in the booth next to us just stuck his head in. We're kind of responsible for the most valuable players in this tournament, and he's already taking a look at Anthony Malloy, number 76, the left tackle, doing a lot of running off of him so far.
He's 6'4", 210 pounds. He's strong, quick off the ball.
Newman play action. He's looking for Flood, who has it, has 3 blockers in front of him, and in he goes.
You see that? Riebling's on. Once he's on, look out. He has the receivers.
Boy, they sent everybody to the top side of the field. Dratty was working on the near side, going deep, and he drew most of the coverage, and then they dump it off to Flood. Look at that, there's just black jerseys in front of him. And he goes in untouched, a 25-yard scoring toss. Riebling to Flood. It is now 20-0, and Jerome Kenny in to attempt his 3rd extra point of the day. Low snap. They do a nice job to get it down. That's a nice spot there by Mark Amoruso, number 9, to get the ball on the tee. Kinney's kick is good. And with 10:31 left to go, it is now Rye 21 and the Gales nothing.
John, you're right when you said that Dratty was moving down. He was covered by so many people because you really have to watch him. He is a threat. During the year, he had over 22 catches, close to 500 yards, and he's averaging 18 yards a reception. He scored 5 touchdowns. So he is a threat. You have to watch him. You have to respect him. And once you see him going out, you have to cover him underneath and behind. So now you sneak a back out into the flat. He's wide open. Riebling has a nice touch to the ball. He gets it there. Everyone can catch on the right team. Guys come out of the backfield, the receivers. They're awesome. Dino Gar's running a well-balanced attack. Off tackle, right and left. Then he hits the middle, goes to the outside, and then he comes up with a play-action pass, and the result is a touchdown. The man is doing a great job coaching. He's utilizing his entire offensive package, and he was the Cable 3 Coach of the Year 2 years ago, and that's a great honor in itself right there.
Drive of 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Garnet scoring on 3 straight possessions. Follow it with a line drive kick, and that one will sail out of bounds. Almost touched by Rob Saraga, but he just at the last instant pulled his hand back, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Garnets. They'll bring the ball back, and will now kick it from the 35-yard line.
You know what impresses me the most? You have the Granddaddy High School bowl game, the Rose Bowl high school game with Rye Harrison. I mean, there were more than 10,000 people. Rye loses the game. They're down. You get depressed. You go to practice. It's hard. It's tough to get up. What impresses me is how well they're playing here. It's like they put everything aside, and we have one more battle to go. Let's do it. You know, do our best. And you have to give Dino Carr and the coaching staff of Rye a lot of credit for that, because they probably had to do a lot of work on the minds of the ball players. Not a lot of X and O's, but saying to the ball players, look, forget about it. You know, the coaches even admit it. You know, it was my mistake. You know, I called the wrong play here and there. Take all the pressure off the ball players, put it on the coaches, and then now the cobwebs are out of their mind, and they go out and play a great game.
Boy, he must have done a great job because they are roaring here.
Well,
and, they came out on fire.
Yeah, he has everything in perspective, Dino Gar. He knows what to do and how to handle the situation.
All right, this one taken by Steve Rossi. And as he looks for the wedge, he is pounded into the turf. Tackle made by Jeff White, number 22, a 5'11 junior, a reserve linebacker. And he does a nice job on the specialty team, bringing down the Gales, and they will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. And let's take a look at that last scoring summary by the Garnets. This is a bigger drive, 7 plays, 53 yards, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Riebling to Flood, a 25-yard pass. Kenny with his 3rd extra point, 21-0 is the score. 1st and 10. Wrobelski in motion. They'll give it to Fracula, and he pounds his way across the 45. His knees down at the 47-yard line, and that's a gain of 4.
Now, James Fracula is tough. Now, last year he scored 56 points. He wants to get into the open field. That's where he's dangerous. He runs very well. He's very quick, and once he gets through that hole, especially on a trap play, he is dynamite in the open field.
Fracula again. Kenny Larson grabbing a hold of him. Consoli there on the stop as well. Short gain of just a yard. And it'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 4.
It's on the line of scrimmage. It's the line. You can see the defensive linemen for Rye. They're really beating the Kennedy line off the ball. Kennedy's going to have to fire out quickly right here to open up those holes.
Ready to throw. Pocket collapses. He's chased out of it and does a nice job skipping around the end and may have, in fact, picked up the 1st down. All his receivers were covered, and he did just that. Got it up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 5 for the quarterback, and 1st down number 2 for the Gales.
Now, Doug Brady's a senior, 5'10", 185 pounds. Last year, he did the punting and extra points. He's a tri-captain of the team. He has good peripheral vision. That's why he can throw the ball well. He has a nice touch on the ball.
Rebelkis in motion again. Fracula with the call, and Greg Dratty is there. Number 89, laying a hit on him. And they're going to mark it just on the other side of the 45. Very short gain, half a yard. 2nd down and 9. Clock rolling, 8:40 to go. 2nd quarter, Rye leading 21-0. Scoring all 3 times they've had the ball, and they got the ball all 3 times on Kennedy turnovers. Option play. Fracula trying to turn the corner and does so. Finally forced out of bounds across the 45. Frank Consoli in on the stop. And let's see, they'll make the spot. Well, they gave him a lot more than I thought. They'll put it at the 41 yards, right? And that's a gain of 2.
You're going to see the option right here. There's Brady pitching out to Fracula. Now he's got to turn those shoulders. He has to get the shoulders square to pick up that real good yardage.
Brady, penalty marker down. Sideline route, completes it to Dan McNamara, but I believe we're going to have some motion. Illegal motion will be the call against the Gales. We're jumping down on the line of scrimmage before the snap.
Now, Dan McNamara is a senior, 5'10", 165 pounds. He's a 2-year starter. Okay, last year he was an offensive guard and a defensive end. He's the fastest man on the team. He's a burner. He's the leading receiver in touchdowns with 6 from Brady.
So now Rye will decide whether to accept the penalty. The pass was completed, so I'm sure Dino's going to take this one. And bring up another third down situation, but this time it'll be 3rd and 12. And that's the first penalty flag of the day. You were mentioning last night, I was along the sidelines with Dick Dugwell and watching the John Jay Nanuet game, and we were commenting on the fact that in all of the games so far this weekend, they've been very well played in terms of infractions. We haven't had any fights, if nothing else, and very few penalty markers. Brackwalla with the call. There's Kenny Larson. He drops it for another loss. Kenny Larson looking pretty good in his inside linebacker spot.
Kenny Larson is tough. He has made over 100 tackles, and he has 4 quarterback sacks throughout the season. Now look at this speed by the big man. Hauls him down, just like Lawrence Taylor of the Giants. Just mauls receivers, runners.
No gain on the play. Garnets only have 9 players out on the field, and here come the other 2. Kennedy getting set to punt. High snap. Brady gets a hold of it and gets a Foley floater away. This one takes a Rye bounce and will be down by the Gales at the 24-yard line. And Rye will have it there, 1st and 10. The first time they get the football without getting it from a turnover. But on the other end of that, J.F. Kennedy, that's their first punt of the day, but they have not really had much success offensively in this ballgame. So Rye gets it back, 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. They'll get the clock cranked up again, 7:07 to go till the intermission. Riebling play action. In trouble. Now gets it away, and Flood makes the reception. Beautiful catch by Trey Flood, juggling it, but getting possession before he headed out of bounds.
Not only a good catch, but what a nice pass. Now watch Reeve, that's a play action off a counter. Now he gets out of trouble. Look at the touch. Nice pass right there. Bobble, bobble, bobble. Now he concentrated, kept his eyes right on the ball, and he caught it. Now you'll notice that he doesn't have any gloves on because he has that feeling of the leather right in his hands. And, you know, once you have it, you just clasp that ball. Boy, I'll tell you, the receivers are great for Rye. They come, the wide receivers, they're good, skilled athletes.
We have a timeout on the field taken by J.F. Kennedy. They're first. They'll have 2 more remaining. Let's take a look at the schedule once again for this Section 1 championship in the year 1987. We've already had 2 games put in the books. One of them played last night. Game here on Cable 3 is number 5 Fox Lane upset number 4 White Plains by a final of 8-0. The other 2 Class A games we'll have this year, number 1 Roosevelt versus number 3 North Rockland, and number 2 Scarsdale taking on Arlington, which will be the next game we'll have for you here on Cable 3. And in Class B, we'll get to that a little bit later on. 1 game played there. First and 10 for the Garnets. Living again to throw. Sideline pattern. Dratty can't haul it in. Right at the midfield stripe. Ball just thrown a little high. And even though Dratty goes 6'4", kind of tough to bring that one in. And that's the first incompletion for Mr. Riebling on the day. Now 3 of 4 through the air.
A little too high on that pass.
Fans are probably the smartest ones of the bunch. Not a real big crowd here today, but they have decided to all come sit on the closed end of the stadium rather than on the visitor side where it is wide open. Back to the running game. It is Flood. Across the 45 on a 2nd and 10 carry, and they will give him credit. 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4.
That was a trap play up the middle. Kennedy is using a 50 defense. That means they have a man over the center. That's what you call the Mike man. A lot of coaches call the nose tackle. What they will do, Rye will have the center and a guard double team that man. The opposite guard will trap the man right down the line of scrimmage, the first man that shows, and they can lead a backup on the linebacker to pick up that extra yard.
3rd and 4. 4. 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 Pitch comes outside to Newman. Blocker's in front of him, and he breaks it. Almost went the distance. He was tripped up just as he got through the hole, but in any event, brings it into Kennedy territory at the 41-yard line.
This is Newman, the workhorse. He has the speed. Right there, he has a nice block, a kick out right there, and he picks up that first down. Now, I just noticed that Kennedy is changing their defense around a little bit. They're using the 6. Now they go back to the 5. The man right over the center. That's the Mike man, the nose tackle. It's a 5-3-3.
Up the middle and nothing there at all.
It worked, John. They had the linebackers coming.
Tom Courtney, the outside man, and the defensive captain, stopping Newman on the carry. Short gain of just a yard. It'll be second down and 9. Clock still rolling. 5:10 left to go. Cameras all over the place.
That Courtney, number 50 for Kennedy, is playing a great game. Doing a good job of blocking, and defensively he's coming in there, jamming up, making tackles.
Play action by Ribley. Looking for Dratty deep. And he picks it up and goes in. Great grab by Greg Dratty.
Now you can't say that Dratty had a great reception because he didn't catch it. You're going to see right here where the defender for Kennedy comes up with this ball, and then Dratty, look at this. Dratty concentrating his eyes on the ball, takes it right out of his hands, and goes into the end zone. That's what you call fighting for the ball. He stripped the defender to get the ball to go in for the score.
Kenny is now 4 for 4 in extra points. And with 4:46 left to go till halftime, oh, the Garnets are exploding. They have scored on 4 straight possessions, and they now lead 28-0. Riebling with his second touchdown pass of the day.
Yeah, but you know what makes it successful? You know why Rye is successful in that passing game? Because they're running. And they're running because the offensive linemen are doing the job. Now they pick up yardage running. Then now they have the defense of Kennedy concentrating on the run. Now Rye will come with a play-action play, find the receiver, throw to him, a nice touch on the ball by Riebling, and they're coming up with the touchdown. They're mixing it up. That's what you call mixing up your offensive package.
Here's another squibber, and Rye very close to recovering that one. But it does head out of bounds, so illegal procedures, the correct call, and they'll march it back 5 yards, and again, Rye will kick it from their own 35-yard line.
Now, the offensive line is doing a good job because they're giving Riebling time. He has time to look downfield, find his receiver, primary, secondary, whatever, and then get the ball to him.
All right, one option that the offensive team has is to take the ball where it goes out of bounds, and that's exactly what Kennedy will do. They'll take it where it went out at the 38-yard line. So they go back on offense, 1st and 10, trailing 28-0, and it's to the ground game. Raquala. And that'll be a gain up to the 43-yard line. They'll make it 4 yards, and it'll be second down and 6. Scoring summary for the Garnets on their 4th touchdown of the day. 76 yards in just 6 plays, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Riebling to Dratty, a 40-yarder, and Rye with the extra point leads 28-0. Brady to throw. Sideline route, completes it, and down the sideline, Stan McNamara. To the 15, 10-5, touchdown. 57-yard pass.
Now that's why Dratty... Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit too excited. Doug Brady is the great athlete. That's his 12th touchdown pass this year. Now you're going to see it's a nice touch on this ball. Brady goes back a few steps. Nice reception by McNamara. Now he has speed. He's a burner. A tough man to catch from behind, and he goes in for the score. Brady is a 3-year starter on a basketball team, a 2-year starter as a catcher on a baseball team. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards this year. His completion ratio is over 60%, and he's averaging over 14 yards on a reception. He is a fine athlete, dangerous, and you really have to watch him. Dan McNamara, 5'10", 165-pound senior, 2-year starter. Last year he was a guard and a defensive end, the fastest man on a team. That's his 7th touchdown pass. You're going to see Brady right here take his 3 steps back. Nice toss right there. Now here's the burner. The wings are on the heels. He's going down the sideline. There is no way of catching him. Touchdown.
57-yarder. Timeout on the field taken by J.F. Kennedy. They had set up to go for the 2-point conversion. And James Dawson up on top of the tower. Man, is it cold up there, huh, James? Yes, sir. Those are nice gloves, though. I like them. Wonder if they're really warm, though. Probably they just look pretty, that's all. Well, we may just have found ourselves in a ball game here. That's a big, big touchdown for the Gales. And now they will try for the 2-point conversion to inch even more closer. Brady, play action, tries to take it himself and stumbles as he tried to cut it upfield. So the 2-point conversion is no good. And with 4:05 left to go in this first half, it is now Rye 28 and Kennedy 6. Well, that didn't take any time at all. Just 41 seconds. Kennedy going 62 yards for that touchdown, their first of the day.
That was a big, big offensive play.
Well, coming into this game, I don't know if you realized it or not, but here on Cable 3, we were working on a streak of 4 straight shutouts. It's finally over. I may get my 35-31 game here today.
Well, you're finding that the teams coming into the ball games are very good defensively. Now, last year, Rye, defensively, they were awesome. I call them the Rat Pack. They were all over the ball carriers.
Brady with the kick. It's a short one. Comes down to Eric Esblond, and he will go down at the 31-yard line. And Rye will set it up there, 1st and 10.
Now, Kennedy's defense is going to have to rise to the occasion, stop them, have Rye punt, and then try to go in for another score before halftime. And then they're right back in the ball game. Anything can happen after that. They need one more score before they go in at halftime. Then the coaches make some adjustments, see what they can do. They talk to the ball players. You know, can you handle this guy? What's your man doing? Where's he lining up? And they can do all these adjustments. And they come out at the second half and they start executing on what they found out that the opponent was doing the first half.
So they'll get the clock started after the 4-minute warning. Rye has 2 timeouts left. Kennedy with 1. 1st and 10 for the Garnets. Ball at their own 31-yard line. Newman in motion, heads to the top of the field. And it is Trey Flood who bounces off of the initial contact and gets it up to the 42-yard line. And depending on the spot, may be good enough for a first down. It is 11-yard gain for Mr. Flood, who is having quite an afternoon. And that is first down number 7 for the Garnets all here in this first half.
Now let's see if this is a trap play. Right there's the trap play. The left guard was trapping and Flood goes right up the middle. A quick opener. He just pops out 11 yards.
to the near side. Newman slips his way through a couple of prospective tacklers. And he gets it into Kennedy territory. And he may have just picked up an 11-yard gain, but it will be negated. There is a holding call that will go against the Garnets, and you know the Gales are going to take this one.
That's what you call controlling the ball. Once you have those backs picking up more than 6 yards on a pop, you're going to control the ball and control the clock.
All right, they will move the ball back from the spot of the infraction, 15 or 10 yards. And we've got the scoring summary from Kennedy's first touchdown of the day. It took them 2 plays to go 62 yards in only 41 seconds. Brady to McNamara, a 57-yard pass. 2-point conversion was no good. And Kennedy gets on the board. They now trail 28-6. So it will be 1st and 17 after the 10-yard infraction from the spot. Play action by Riebling. Little screen pass. Newman has it, but Fraquala comes up to put the hit on. And there is another marker on the play, and this time it's going to be against J.F. Kennedy. They got to the passer a little too rough.
Now, James Fraquala is a defensive end on a strong side. Now, what his responsibility was to take the first back out of the backfield, and he was right there to make the tackle.
Now, I believe here we're going to watch, or we'll see the end of the play. You can't see the hit put on, but there's the tackle by Fraquala.
And he was right there. He was right there in that first back coming out. That's his responsibility. Pick him up now to get a little bit, if you get there quicker, a little bit faster, you can pick it off, have the interception, and take it in for a score. It could be a dangerous pass.
So this is a roughing the passer call, and it is a big one, a 15-yarder. Brings it up to the Rye 49-yard line. Second penalty against the Gales for 20 yards.
You have Riebling, a fine quarterback for Rye, a junior. Brady, a fine quarterback for Kennedy, a senior. Junior and a senior. Can you imagine having Riebling back again? Next year he started as a sophomore. He threw over 1,000 yards. This year he threw over 1,000 yards. Now next year he'll throw for over 1,500 yards.
Automatic first down. Here comes Flood. Down to the 45-yard line. And I'll tell you something, that left side of the Garnet offensive line doing one heck of a job opening up some great holes. 6-yard gain for Flood. It's really turned out to be the workhorse in this one. Riebling wants to throw, sideline route, almost intercepted. Off of the hands of Greg Dratty and almost right into the waiting arms of number 12, or pardon me, number 42, Walt Rebelkis.
Okay, now there's Riebling right there throwing. Now he's getting good protection. The line's doing a good job. He can pause for another 0.3 of a second. Wait, be patient, then release the ball. He's just rushing it a little bit too much, and the ball's not right there on target now because Dratty was open. He's a big target, and he has great hands. He'll bring it in.
3rd and 5. Sideline route. And Dratty, oh, they were going for the old hook and ladder. Dratty was going to make the catch and then flip it to a streaking Newman. And if that play had gone, yeah, you look at Dratty, he is so upset with himself. He had that ball in his hands and then tried to pitch it and never came up with a catch.
Yeah, and I just said that if the ball gets to him, he'll catch it. And now he just dropped it. I think he was injured on that play. Let's see right here. Here's Riebling.
Watch here.
Yep.
That's a dead ball right there anyway if he makes the catch because his knee's on the ground.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Even if he pitches it.
You're right, John. His knee was on the ground and he was down. But I think he was trying to pitch it before he even caught it.
4th and 4. Oh, no question about it. And I earned a nickel from Malnati. I got one.
And Dratty's hurt. He may have hurt his hip, maybe the lower back.
minute. Timeout on the field. This one taken by Rye with 1:58 left to go. You may have noticed just before the timeout was called by the Garnets, they do that shift. If you look at Dratty along the sidelines, he may have twisted something in his back trying to get that flip out.
Lower back.
But as I was saying, you may have noticed a shift by the Garnets on the line. That's an old trick that Dino Gar's been using for years, trying to draw the defense offside and pick up the easy 4 yards. Well, it didn't work there, and obviously they didn't have a play called at the line of scrimmage, so he had to take the timeout. And now we'll bring him back up with a 4th and 5, 1:58 left to go. Ball at the Gale 46. Replay, play action. Across the middle, completes it. Ken McComb with the reception. Down to the 30-yard line.
Now, Kevin McComb's a senior. He's 6'3", 195 pounds. He's a big target. There he is. He has his arms up to let Riebling know that he's open, and Riebling gets the ball to him.
Clock rolling, 1:40 left. Riebling again to throw, and this time under heavy pressure. Trying to hit Flood on a little swing pass to the top side of the field. And it will go incomplete, but more important, let's stop the clock now with 1:38 left to go.
Now, what Rye is showing us right here is ball control offense. They're running, they're passing, they're just controlling it. Now they're chewing up the clock also. They want to go in for another score before halftime because Kennedy can come right back with the score and be right in the ball game. Rye has twins out here. The motion is trips.
And right up the middle they go to to Flood rather. And he gets a very short gain of just 1 yard. It will be 3rd down and 9. But that clock's still rolling. 1:20 left to play. Rye has 1 timeout left. Looking for another score.
3rd and 9, John. 3rd and 9. You think it's going to be a play action, throw to a guy in the end zone, or short for the first down?
I think Riebling's going to try for it all. There's a penalty marker, and he is met at the line as he tried to release the ball. Boy, coming right in there, untouched. Dan McNamara, the defensive end. But this penalty is going to go against the Garnets. I would venture a guess here that they are going to decline the penalty, take the play, and bring up a 4th down. All right, we're going to take a short break while they decide the situation, and we'll return to Memorial Field with the final minute of the 2nd quarter when we come back with more here on Cable 3 Sports. Welcome back to Memorial Field as we are now set to begin the final minute of this 2nd quarter. They've moved the chains, and now we're going to get our crew to get that crew out there on top of it, and they are ready. So the incomplete pass, the Gales did accept the penalty. There are 2 men in motion in the Rye backfield, so a 5-yarder, and it will bring up 3rd down again. This time it will be 3rd and 13. Ball at the 33-yard line. Riebling fakes it to Newman. Good protection across the middle, and it's completed to McComb, and he loses the football. It's recovered at the 1-yard line by Consoli. McComb made the catch, came down at the 3-yard line. The ball came out, and Consoli almost had a touchdown, but they're marking it down at the one where his knee hit.
That's exactly right, John. His knee hit, he is down. That's a good call by the official. Now look at the time he has. Great pass protection. There's McComb. He's down, he fumbled, but when it was recovered, his knee was down on the 1.
Newman fumbles it. The Gales have got it back.
That's a great defensive stop by Kennedy. That's a goal line stand. That's causing that fumble and recovery.
And that may go a long way as you see where Mr. Momentum, where he's going to spend the halftime. That's a Very big play for Kennedy.
Exactly. It's crucial for Rye also because they only have 1 yard to go and they had 4 tries. They could have had another touchdown there, but Kennedy is not giving up. They're a bowl team. Only the best teams in Section 1 come here, and they are the best out of 72 high schools, and you're not going to see anyone giving up.
You're not going to see a whole lot here either with just 14 seconds left. Brady will just try to inch his way ahead. Rye does have 1 timeout left, but I'm sure neither team are going to use them, and they're going to let this first half come to an end. And as we mentioned, a very big defensive play there by the Gales, following their only touchdown of that first half. And I believe the momentum is definitely going to be on the side of the J.F. Kennedy Gales as both teams head to the locker room for a little warmth here at halftime. At the end of the first half, it is Rye 28 and the Gales of Kennedy 6. And when we come back, Ray Korowski and I will be down on the field to chat a little bit about this Section 1 football championship tournament. We'll also have a look at the halftime tally, the scoring page, and some highlights when we come back in just a moment.
If Tackleberry,
Freeze! Good idea.
Hightower,
Attention all cars, attention all cars.
Mahoney,
Gee, I love saying that.
Zed, and Sweet Chuck get to carry a gun, why not Mrs. Feldman?
Now be careful, because a 44 Magnum has quite a kick.
Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol.
See fine original programming each month as Superstation WTBS presents the award-winning series, Portrait of America. From the hills of Tennessee to the shores of Maui, Hal Holbrook profiles what is special and unique about the states we live in. Winners of the Pulitzer and Peabody Awards, only cable brings you the beauty and variety of America on Portrait of America, each month on Superstation WTBS.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Mount Vernon. There's our halftime score. Rye leading J.F. Kennedy 28-6. In a few moments, we're going to take a look at some highlights with Ray Korowski. But before we get to that, let's take a look now at the numbers put up by both schools in a very cold first half here in Mount Vernon. And you will see the numbers definitely on the side of the Rye Garnets, rushing for 104 yards, Flood the leading ball carrier at 75, Riebling a spectacular 6 of 10 through the air for 139 yards, a grand total of 243. They also picked up 9 first downs in that first half, 1 turnover, and held the ball for a little more than 15 minutes. J.F. Kennedy, on the other hand, 38 yards rushing. It was Fraquala leading the way with 33 yards on the ground, 65 yards passing. Brady 2 of 2 for a total of 103. They had 2 first downs, but 3 very big turnovers, and held on to the football for only 8 minutes and 58 seconds. We had a bunch of scoring in that first half, and we're going to take a look at some highlights and the scoring summary. But first, let's pause right here for this quick message, and then we'll return to Memorial Field in Mount Vernon for more of this halftime show.
Now, when you want to rent one of Hollywood's latest movies, get it the easy way. With Request Television. To order, tune in the Request channel and have these 3 numbers ready. The event number, your account number from your bill, and your personal ID number. Ordering is easy. Call this phone number. Follow the simple directions and listen for automatic confirmation. Your movie is conveniently delivered electronically. Rent the first-run movie you want the easy way from your easy chair with Request, America's #1 rent-a-movie channel.
Just a couple of minutes before the opening kickoff of the second half, Ray, we had a bunch of touchdowns in that first half. We've got the folks at home to show 3 plays from highlights of that first half. We'll begin, first of all, with Trey Flood's opening touchdown run. He really turned out to be the workhorse in that first half.
Yeah, he's very quick off the ball. Once he gets to the line of scrimmage, he just explodes out and he just pops. Once he gets into the open field, then he starts taking off with his speed. Now, you're going to see on this touchdown, it's a trap play. Watch the right guard. There's the trap. See how quick he pops right through that middle? And there he is in the end zone.
Okay, on the next play, a very big turnover. And is this coming off of the ensuing kickoff? Rye getting it away. One of those numbers that they've been kicking all afternoon. This one will be mishandled and then recovered by number 32, Tim Albertson. And then that led to our next touchdown. Scott Newman getting his first score of the afternoon on a 4-yard run, and he gets into the end zone, and Rye leading in that first half by a score of 28-0. Well, they're pushing everybody along, and so we're about set to begin the second half, so we'll hold it up right here once again and then return to Memorial Field in Mount Vernon for the third quarter of this Class B championship, with Rye leading the Gales of J.F. Kennedy by a score of 28-6.
Coming this fall to ESPN. The best of the NFL. From preseason contests to 8 Sunday night clashes and the season finale Pro Bowl, you'll see it all live on ESPN. From start to finish this year, pro football duels here on the exclusive cable home of the NFL, ESPN.
In the 6 years that Cable 3 Sports has been televising the Section 1 Bowl Championships, we've recorded many of the top moments, from Harold Gaydon's 400-yard performance against Our Lady of Lourdes to North Rockland's overtime field goal that finally beat Scarsdale in last year's thriller. I'm John Caridio, inviting you to our 7th straight season of the best in high school football. We'll all be at Memorial Field for the 1987 Section 1 Football Championships, and we hope you will too. Just check the program guide for games and times.
5 degrees, and it's feeling it. It is a cold, cold afternoon, and just the opposite on the field. We've got ourselves a hot ball game right now, 28-6, as we're about set to begin the second half. Brady will be kicking it for the Gales to the Garnets, and we're into the final few moments of this Class B championship. That one will head into the end zone for an automatic touchback, and the Rye Garnets will once again go on offense, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, and we'll refresh your memory as to the starters. For the Garnets, Steve Riebling had a pretty good first half throwing the football. He's the quarterback. Newman is the tailback. Trey Flood, the fullback. He's having a whale of a game. The wingback is number 14, Frank Consoli. The split end, Greg Dratty, 89, and the tight end, number 46, is Ken Larson. Offensively, the Garnets use 6 seniors and 5 juniors. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. And it's Newman who gets the opening carry. And he hustles his way up close to the 25-yard line. Nice big pickup by Newman for 5 yards. And that will bring up 2nd down and 5. Offensively on the line for the Garnets, Anthony Malloy is having a pretty good game as well at left tackle. Ray Delacole's the left guard. Dan Grado, the center. The right guard, Jordan Dornick, and the right tackle, Mike Waltman. That offensive line averaging 6 feet, 187 pounds. 2nd down and 5 from the 25. Newman again. Good cutback to the inside. Trey Flood was the lead backer and was trying to do his best to get rid of Dan McNamara, and Newman able to fight off of that block and get, we'll call it 3 yards, and the Rye Garnets faced with a 3rd down and 2. Defensively for the Gales of Kennedy, Dan McNamara at end, Rob Walker the tackle, nose guard Kevin Condon, the other tackle Dan Donovan, and the defensive end number 44, James Franquilla. Garnets now faced with a 3rd down and 2. The opening series here in the second half, Rye leading 28-6. It's Flood. Bounces off of a hole, and I don't believe he got it. The Kennedy defense coming up real tough. Kevin Torrey, number 30, at the bottom of the pile. He laid the hit on Newman, and the Gales defense did stop Rye, and they will be forced to punt. As we take a look at the final page of the defensive set for the Gales, the linebackers Torrey and Courtney, along with Roger Johnson, Rob Saraga, Walt Grabelkis, the corners, and Mike Richmond is the safety. So Newman in to punt the football away. We saw this last week. Riebling will get the football and turn and pitch it to Newman. who will kick it and does just that. End-over-end kick takes a Rye bounce and will stay on the right side of the field. And believe it or not, that is just the first punt for Rye in this ball game. They scored on 4 straight possessions and then fumbled at the Kennedy 1-yard line. Offensively now for the Gales as they set up shop. 1st and 10. The quarterback is Doug Brady, number 10. The halfback, John Costello. The fullback, James Fraquella. The wingback, Walt Rebelkis. Tight end is Dan McNamara. The split end, Rob Saraga. Offensively, you've got 9 seniors and 2 juniors. And Fraquella with a big hole and a nice tackle at the last second. Kenny Larson, inside linebacker, able to trip up Fraquella, but he gets a nice gain of 5 yards. And that will bring up a 2nd down and 5. On the offensive line for the Gales, you'll have Eugene McCarthy, Tom Courtney, Chris Hansen is the center, Rob Garnsey, number 66, the right guard, and the right tackle, number 70, Dan Donovan. That offensive line averaging 6 feet, 205 pounds. 2nd down and 5. Brady looking to throw. 2 for 2 in the first half. Airs this one out towards the sidelines, and that will go incomplete, breaking his string. And we'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Defensively now for the Garnets. 4-man front, Ray Delacoli, Trey Flood, Anthony Sabona, and Bob Follett. The 2 inside linebackers, Kenny Larson and Jerome Kenny, number 42. Larson with a host of tackles in that first half. Fraquella, he's going to get a short gain of just 2 yards, and that will bring up a 4th down. We'll see if the Gales will be forced to punt it away here. We take a look at the final page on our starting lineup. Outside linebackers, Frank Consoli and Greg Dratty. Cornerbacks, Rich Mascali and Eric Erzblond. And the safety will be number 20, Ricky Lehman. So we'll be 4th down, and Doug Brady sets up to punt the football away. He's going to have that very strong wind at his back. Ricky Lehman will go deep. Or Rich Mascali, rather, and he's at the 5, and this one sails over his head and will take 1 bounce and head into the end zone for an automatic touchback. And Rye will go back on offense. So neither team much success, Ray, in that first series here in the second half.
Well, I could see where Kennedy didn't have any success because Dratty's playing great out there. He was injured in the first half. He's back playing. And then you have Larson playing linebacker. I just saw him going back, covering the middle from his linebacker spot, and he looks like he can cover about 15 or 20 yards. He was in on 2 free tackles. He's doing a great job defensively. Now, the coaches went in at halftime, John. They made their adjustments. They found out what the opposition was doing, and the second half may turn out to be a defensive battle.
Well, the Gales left that first half with great momentum. And Newman with the call, and Tom Courtney, number 50, again in on a stop. And Newman not having a whole lot of success running the football here today, though, as we mentioned in the opener, that Trey Flood seemed to be the workhorse for Dino Gar, especially in that first half, picking up 75 yards rushing. Newman, with that 1-yard gain there, gives him 38 yards on the day. Last week against Harrison, Newman was held to 44 yards rushing.
We just saw Coach John Angeliccio. He is the defensive coordinator for Rye.
Reevely wants to put it up, and it's incomplete. Had to throw it a little soon. Heavy pressure in on him, in particular Dan McNamara, the defensive end, who got to him before he really wanted to let the ball go.
Kennedy is applying pressure to Reebling. Now, what Reebling is doing, he's just dropping back. It's a drop-back pass. What he has to do is he's going to have to roll out. He's have to sprint out. They may even have to run an option or two to get him to the outside so he can throw the ball. Let Reebling use his quick feet. Let him get to the outside. If he is going to be dropping back continuously, then Kennedy's going to zoom in on this offensive strategy of Rye's, and they're just going to blitz a linebacker, apply pressure right up the middle, and that's where they're going to get Reebling. He has to get moving, use the quick feet, start rolling out, sprinting out, and throw on the run. This way he will be more detrimental, he'll be more of a threat, and then he'll have a greater chance next year making All-State because he does have the receivers. Everyone on Rye, split end, flanker, slots, backs, can catch the ball.
They're down in 10. Play action by Riebling. Little flare pass. Dratty makes the catch. Nice play by the Gales. They come over in a real hurry. Chris Chulo in on the tackle as well.
Okay, yeah, now on that situation, Dratty was really wide. He was about 12, 15 yards wide. Then he goes out, then he comes back, trying to set up like a screen to the split end. Now the blocker's in front, number 76, but there were too many men for Kennedy on the defense to come in and make the tackle.
So Dratty getting out of bounds stops the clock with 6:41 left in the third quarter. And the Hornets once again will be forced to punt it away. Riebling at quarterback, flips it back to Newman, and big rush is on, and he just does get it away. Nobody deep for the Gales. They will let this one roll, and it continues to do so. Finally down by the Garnets in Gale territory at the 47.
I thought that punt should have been blocked right there because the man was in. All he has to do is dive or go to the point where the ball is going to be kicked. You do not go at the man. Go at the point where the ball is going to be kicked. It may be a yard or 2 yards in front of him, and that should have been blocked right there.
6:39 left to go, third quarter. Each team has had the ball twice. Well, now each team will have the ball twice. The second possession for the Gales. Brady pumps once, now looking deep, has a receiver open. It's completed down to the 14-yard line. Dan McNamara makes the reception. He's got the only touchdown of the day. And that's a big, big play.
Now that's the man that Rye has to watch, is Dan McNamara. Now you're going to see Larson coming in here putting pressure on. This is a great reception. Now McNamara's a 2-year starter. He's the speedster. He's going to get out there. You have to really cover him. Watch him.
40-yard pass completion. First and 10 for the Gales. They threaten again. Brady to throw. Sideline route complete, but not for a whole lot. Good open field tackle made by Rich Mascali, number 12. And there is another marker on the play. That was Steve Rossi, number 81, who made the reception. Just a gain of about a yard, but we check out the marker, and this one's going to go against the Gales.
Now on that pass play, John, what they're doing, Kennedy is having McNamara just streaking down the sideline, and Brady is dropping back and throwing the ball. In other words, he's putting the ball up, and he's saying to Dan McNamara, now go get it, and that's exactly what he's doing. It's like a timing pass. We're going to see it right here. Here's Brady. This is the next pass. This is the one that's out. It's a flare pass, not too much in yardage, but the pass play before that to McNamara, that's just a throw it up and go get it pass.
Illegal motion call against the Gales, 5-yard penalty. Their third of the day for 25 yards. And now brings up a first and 15. Brady rolls across the middle, and it's incomplete. I believe that went in and out of the hands of John Costello, number 15, a halfback coming out of the backfield. But that will mean it will now be second down.
And Ken Larson was right there also. He's playing that middle linebacker slot. He reads pass. He drops back into his zone. At times, if he thinks he can apply pressure or get the quarterback, he'll rush.
Brady dumps it off. Rebelkis trying to turn the corner. But again right there, Harold Slater, number 15, who makes the tackle.
Now, number 42, Walter Grabeklis, is a senior. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. He has great hands. He runs his routes very crisp. He has a knack to finding the opening. He's a 2-year starter, and he has over 30 receptions this year. He's the one that had 11 receptions against John Jay.
Brady can't hold on to the football. Finally falls back on it, but all the way back at the 34-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 4th down and the next zip code.
Okay, there's Brady. He tripped right there. Right. Oh, then he kicks the ball away now. Best thing, fall on it. Okay, you try to pick it up. You're not going to find the handle, and before you know it, someone from Rye's going to jump on it. So wisest thing, fall on it.
Oh, after that little miscue, Gales will be forced to punt it away. Boy, remember, they had a 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. This one angles towards the sidelines, and big cloud of chalk comes up, and it will go out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So that's where Rye will set it up. 1st and 10, and now each team has had the ball twice in the second half, and we've had 4 punts in the second half.
And that's exactly what the punter wants to do. He wants to kick it in the coffin corner. He wants to get it inside the 10-yard line. Because if you punt it with all your strength in your foot, it's going to go in the end zone, and then the team has it coming out on the 20-yard line. So you aim for the coffin corner, trying to get it inside the 10-yard line.
Not a big crowd here today, but who can really blame them? It is just freezing out here this afternoon. That says the Rye partisans have made the trip, as have those folks from Somers. A couple of fakes in the backfield. Newman finally gets a handle, and he does a nice job busting his way up across the 15-yard line. Newman will get a gain of 7 yards, and we're going to have a 2nd down and 3. Now, Newman's an interesting story here. Coming into the ball game, he needed, let's see, we'll make sure we get it right. He needed 83 yards to crack the 1,000-yard mark for this season. And right now, he has 44 yards. So he's getting ever so close to that vaulted mark. This time a short gain to the 20-yard line. Newman with the call. He gets 2 more. And it brings up a 3rd down and 1. Clock still rolling. 3:15 left to go. Now they will stop it. A couple of Gale players who need some equipment repair done on the field very quickly.
Yeah, they're tying shoelaces.
Now they'll get them started. Riedling brings the club up to the line of scrimmage. 3:10 left. 3rd quarter. Rye leading 28-6. Newman is the tailback. He gets the football and just tries to find a quick opening to bust it across the 20-yard line, and he will have enough for the 1st down. But there is an injured player on the field, and it is a member of the Kennedy football team.
1st down on the play, official timeout.
3-yard gain for Newman. And there you see number 70, Dan Donovan, 6'2", 210-pound senior. Seems to be all right, walking off the field under his own power. So the Garnets, they get their 10th 1st down of the ball game. Showing us a little ball control here on this drive. They'll throw it outside to Newman. Does a nice job cutting it up. Gets it down to the 30-yard line. It's another 8-yard gain.
Yep, and Rye was in a power I right formation. The quarterback gets the ball. He just pitches it to the tailback, and it's a sweep right. You had the power of the backfield right, and you had the run to the right. It's just sheer power and then speed taking over, and you have to execute with the blocks. That's good yardage, picking up 8 yards on that play. Now they're power eye left. Same play to the left side.
This time it goes nowhere. Dropped in the backfield. And on that stop, number 51, Ken Condon, the nose guard, 6 foot, 190-pound senior. And he drops Newman for a loss of 3 yards. And it will bring up a 3rd down and 5. The clock still rolling. Now we have a whistle. And Rye is going to take a timeout here. That will be their first. And they will have 2 more remaining. Well, in the first half, we had a chance to show you the Section 1 schedule for Class A. We had that one game already put in the books. Fox Lane upsetting White Plains 8-0. In Class B, there are also 3 championships up for grabs this weekend. We'll have for you the one for the Roses. Number 1 Byram Hills against number 2 Harrison, 2 9-0 clubs. And in this one here, number 3 Rye versus number 5 J.F. Kennedy. And a game played last night. J&J, the Indians, ranked number 4. They defeated Nanuet by a score of 14-0. And there will be 2 games in the Class B set. We haven't had any play so far this afternoon or this weekend. Number 1 Pleasantville versus number 2 Dobbs Ferry. Number 3 Croton takes on the League 10 champs, Falling Tigers. And in the Coaches Bowl this year, we play Thanksgiving morning over at Ryan Stadium on the campus of Portchester High School as the Rams play host to the Brewster Bears.
John, the way Rye's playing this afternoon, we have to give credit to the coaching staff. John Antonuccia, who's the defensive coordinator, and then Tom Maloney, who played for Rye. He beat Rye as a player, and he's back coaching. He's doing a great job with the backfield. Now, boy, is he going to have some very skilled people to work with next year. There's a lot of juniors on this team.
All right, the Garnets bring a lineup. 3rd and 5. Play action by Riebling. He wants to take this himself and gets it across the 30-yard line. The spot will be most important here. And it's going to be close enough for a measurement.
Now, I mentioned this before. This is what I like to see Riebling do. Take that ball, use those quick feet, get to the outside. Now, if he picks up yardage, he becomes a threat. Then he can do the same thing, stop before he crosses the line of scrimmage, and then throw a pass. This is going to make him more of a detrimental player. They're going to be really cognizant of the fact that this guy's going to be such of a threat, you know, throwing on the run, rolling out, sprinting, and that's what you have to do. Take advantage of your talent.
First down run by Mr. Riebling. First down, number 11.
It's ball control, ball control. You're getting the first down, first down, first down. You run up the middle, off tackle. You use your sweeps, have the quarterback sprint out, roll out, throw the passes once in a while, but throw them short. You don't have to go for the bomb. The short passes.
First and 10. Quick opener, Trey Flood, fullback, gets 4 yards up to the 35-yard line. Boy, this really just a grind-em-out drive.
Yeah, and I think what happened there, John, is that Rice saw Kennedy was in a 6 defense. In other words, they have a man over the guards, the tackles, and the ends. So maybe Riebling called an audible thinking that they could go right up the middle, but the defensive guards for Kennedy pinched in and stopped the play right there.
Second down, 6. 25 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This is Newman. Big hole opens, there he goes. Across the 40. It's a foot race to the end. Good cut to the inside. He goes the distance. 65-yard run. And that puts Mr. Newman over the 1,000-yard mark for this season. What a great year it's been for that young man.
And this is the workhorse. He has speed. He breaks off right tackle. Now it's a foot race. He has to use it. He's got to get a step faster for next year. Almost caught there. Goes in for the score. He just has to be a little bit faster. He's got to work on it. He can get there. You can work on your physical ability to get that step quicker.
The extra point attempt by Jerome Kenny is no good. The first one in 5 chances he has missed today. But that's a very big score with just 12 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Newman, 65-yard run for the score, and it is now Rye 34 and J.F. Kennedy 6.
Well, I'll tell you, what a backfield. You have Flood coming back, Newman. Now, they have good runners. The backs are great. They're quick. They'll get to the line. They'll pick up the yardage. Rye needs that breakaway runner, and they have to get Flood, and they have to get Newman just to get a step quicker. Open field. You know, just take off. To have that threat. Get in the open, and take off and score. You can work on your speed. You can develop it. You can get a step or two quicker, but it's a lot of hard work. You know, doing sprints every day, short ones, maybe running around with some weight on your back, and just working.
Low line drive. Gales running it to the outside, looking for the wedge. Steve Rossi picking up the football. And he is dropped by Mark Amoruso. Second tackle Mark has made on specialty teams today. And there's a late flag, a personal foul that's going to go against the Gales. Maybe emotion taking over now. A little bit of frustration added in for Spice. And a little extracurricular activity at the conclusion of that return. And it's going to cost the Gales 15 yards.
You know, up until that point, the Gales were doing a great job defensively. They were holding Rye. They were bending, but they didn't break. With that one long run by Newman, taken off, good foot speed. He was almost caught there on the 5-yard line, tripped up, but he maintained his balance. That's why he's a good back. He has that balance.
First and 25, and before the Gales are able to get the snap away, the 3rd quarter has come to an end here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon with the score, the Garnets of Rye 34 and the Gales of Kennedy 6. And when we come back, JFK will have the football facing a 1st and 25 from their own 28-yard line.
Headline news, I'm Jane Akeley. The Treasury Department is technically out of...
The nation's weather map today promises a mild weekend.
Vote last night against a spending bill. Opponents...
Around the world in 30 minutes, this is Headline News.
19 minutes after the hour.
Get a head start on your day. Wake up with the Headline News Network. Get the headline habit.
Back here at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon, John Carrillo along with Ray Karowski and the Cable 3 Sports crew for this Class B championship, owned right now by the Rye Garnets. They lead JFK 34-6. Scott Newman, who just had that 65-yard run, as we mentioned, cracked the 1,000-yard mark for this season. He now with 123 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
And he's only a junior.
He's going to be back next year. Fraquella puts it over the 30-yard line, and they're going to spot it at the 28. And after that penalty, it will now be 2nd down and about 15. So give Mr. Fraquella a 10-yard carry. Here's that scoring summary for the Garnets. 8 plays, 89 yards, 4 minutes, 14 seconds, and he took 65 yards of that in 1 play on Newman's touchdown run, 34-6. It's Fraquella again. This time a quick opener up the middle brings him to the 42-yard line. Well, they got the penalty yardage back, and now are working on the 10 yards for the 1st down. They'll have a 3rd and 7, another 8-yard gain for Fraquella. He now has 58 yards rushing in today's ball game.
And this is good what Kennedy's doing. They're establishing a little running game, keep the defense aware of it, then come up with a pass and go in for another score.
Brady to throw, sideline, completes it. Amoruso in on the tackle, but not before John Costello, coming out of the backfield, makes the catch. And they're going to mark him out of bounds. No, they say he's not out of bounds, stayed in the field of play, but goes down at the 45-yard line. And it will be 4th and 3, and the Gales have no choice. They have to go for it. Running to the near side, Grabelkis, and he is brought down and will be very close to the first down marker. Jeff White, number 22, makes the stop, but not before Raquola able to pick up the first down.
That was good running by Grabeklis. Now you have to keep in mind against John Jay, he had 11 receptions, so if he comes out of that, slot position, he is an excellent receiver.
Brady pumps once, throws it out, intercepted. Great defensive play by Rich Mascali, who cut right in front of the intended receiver. Turnover number 4 for the Gales, a fumble and 3 interceptions.
Okay, you're going to see right here, he comes up with a great reception. Now he goes down, then he's going to think, now look, he's down. He thinks he's playing professional football. He can get up and run again. These guys are psyched out there. In high school, once your knee touches, you are down. But in professional football, if you come up with an interception and you fall down and you're not touched by the opposite team, you can get up and run again. You know, a lot of these guys watch pro football and they think that they can do it in high school, but you can't. That's why you have officials out there. They do a great job.
So the Garnets back on offense once again. 9:20 left to go in the ball game. Riebling in at quarterback. There's a host of new backs in for the Garnets, as Dino Gar is going to start to give some of his players, his reserves, a little work and a little taste of Section 1 championship play. Joe Cancel, number 32, getting that carry. One of the regulars, however, made that tackle. Tom Courtney, number 50.
And what Dino Gar is doing, he's giving everyone an opportunity to play in the bowl game.
Loss of 2 at 2nd and 12. Cancel again. Another nice hole. And the reserve tailback up to the 34-yard line. Make it the 35, a gain of 5. 3rd and 6. Clock still rolling along. And now Draddy and Flood check back into the Rye lineup.
Rice in the power I left formation.
Play action by Riebling. Sideline route, and Flood can't hold on to the football.
Oh, look,
wanted to turn upfield before he had it.
Yeah, you wanted to turn up. He's too anxious. You have to catch it first. And again, look at Flood. He has the gloves on. You know, I don't like the gloves. You got to take them off. You got to have that ball hit your hands, the skin, get the feel of it. Concentrate the ball right into your hands. Catch it, turn around, then go. Don't be over anxious. Be patient. Catch that ball. Take the gloves off.
Do I have to take them off? I
don't.
No,
the ball players.
Ball players. All right. 7:53 left. Riebling pitches it back. Newman, quick as blocked. Gales have it in great field position at the right 25-yard line.
And they were coming.
Now, I make a quick correction. I don't believe that's Newman back there, who usually does the punting from that formation. I think that's Jerome Kenny, number 42, who is back there. And he never got it up high enough.
Yeah, you're going to see right here. Look at that. The defense of Kennedy is coming in. They had 4 guys right in there slashing through that line to block the punt.
From the 25-yard line, Frequala to the 23. Well, the best field position the Gales have started a drive in this ball game. 7:15 to go. J.F. Kennedy trailing 34-6. Frequala. Nice job finding the opening. Down to the 15-yard line. That'll be good for a first down. 7-yard gain. First down number 4. Clock is stopped as they move the chains. 7:05 to play. $77 yards rushing now for Frequala, who gets the call again. And down he goes at the 7-yard line. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down stake.
I think he hurt his knee, John. He's holding his knee. See Frequala right here. He's slashes right through, right there to tackle, and he banged up his knee.
Oh, he's very quickly right back up, limping a little bit. And he will have to come out for one play. I'm sure we're going to see him on the next series. Kevin Drakeford, number 33, a 5'10 junior, comes in to replace him. Second down and 1 from the 7. Brady takes it himself, looks for the end zone, and did not get in. Kenny Larson came over with help from Eric Esblon, number 21. Brady didn't get in the end zone, but he did get the first down.
Yeah, Brady's a good athlete here now. Watch him go around the end. He's got to turn it on, and even if he has to dive across that goal line, dive, but he did not make it. He plays football, basketball, baseball, and starts in all 3 the sports at Kennedy, and he is some athlete.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. Frequala gets the call, and he gets in.
That was sheer power, John, sheer power. Those legs were like pistons pumping. He had to drive a wall of right defenders into the end zone to get the score. Look at this drive. He's driving, and once that ball crosses that plane, it's a touchdown.
So now the decision to be made, and I don't think it's really much of a decision. Kennedy will have to set up for the 2-point conversion. Now trailing 34-12. And Frequala back in after the touchdown, and a penalty on the play.
Let's see, maybe a lineman moved. Once a lineman has his hand down below his knee, he cannot bring his hand up. Now, the ends can. They can get down in their stance. They can stand up and move out. Well, not the interior lineman.
Whatever it was, they picked up the flag and waved it off. And now our referee, Jack Auld, is going to go over and explain to Bob Middlestat, head coach of the Gales, exactly what that last call was all about. Again, our crew done a nice job today out on the field. Jack Auld, the referee. Dick Gagne is the umpire. John Palacio, the head linesman, and the field judge is Jim Komalski. And up here in the booth with us, we've got Doug Scott on the clock.
Doug Scott on the clock, and his son, Scott, was an All-American baseball player at Villanova College. What a great, he's only a freshman. This year he's a sophomore, and what a great baseball player he is. I was talking to him during the summer, and he said he would really like to play professional baseball. I think he's in finance at Villanova, but, you know, making a living playing professional ball is more a cup of soup for him than working at finance.
All right, Gales go for 2. Play action. Brady puts it up into the end zone, and it is completed. Dan McNamara just took that one right away. And the two-point conversion is good.
Now, McNamara's the man that had 11 receptions against John Jay. The nice touch on the ball, goes right up, concentrating on it, and comes down with the reception.
Boy, he really took that right away from Erzland.
It's like a fight, you know. Let's see who can get that ball. Once that ball's in the air, it's a free ball. It's like a fumble. You know, it's a fight. You have to go and get it.
Well, there's your tally, 34-14 now. 6:04 left to go. Here, you don't see this too often. Watch very closely. It looks like Erzland actually makes the catch first and then has it ripped out of his hands. And that will go for the two-point conversion. And it makes it 34-14 with 6:04 left to play in the ball game. And just a quick reminder, coming up at the end of the game, Coach Borowski will be down on the field with the winning coach and the two most valuable players awarded by the Football Coaches Association. They'll have a most valuable back and a most valuable lineman as well. Onside kick here. Here it comes. Ball's popping around, and Newman, one of the sure-handed men that Dino Gar put up front, able to fall on it, but there is a penalty on the play. Now in that region, I'd venture a guess to say maybe somebody was offside. Now they're picking it up again. They say no penalty.
Oh, it may have dropped out of his pocket.
So Rye goes back on offense. And at this juncture, what they will really be hoping for is a nice long drive of about 6 minutes and 2 seconds. End it with a touchdown, put this game in the books. Right now they lead 34-14. Again, quick break in the action as referee Jack Hall visits both sidelines to explain why that penalty marker was picked up.
Now what Rye has to do here is just control the ball. Just work for first downs, control the ball, chew up the clock.
Sideline route, Flood makes the catch. Tries to put on the brakes, and forward progress finally stopped. And they're going to spot it a yard shy of the first down stake, so it'll be a 9-yard pickup by Riebling and Flood.
Now, why he didn't get that first down is because Flood hesitated. Now, Riebling there is a nice touch on the ball. Now, right here, you see where he pauses? He tries to juke out the defender. You have to know where that first yard marker is, and once you catch it, just shoot for it. Go right through the defender. Get the first down. That's the important thing that you want to do.
Have a new quarterback in the game. It'll be Rich Mascali, number 12. And Rich is going to run the club here for a little bit. He is a senior and has an opportunity. Oh, he's going to do more than run the club. He's going to run the ball. Does a nice job following his blockers. Brings it to the inside. Now it'll be a foot race. Whoa! Mr. McNamara came from nowhere to lower the hit on Mascali, but he gets it all the way down to the 29-yard line.
You know, that was a great run, but you have to keep in mind, McNamara's the fastest man on the team for Kennedy. Now watch him, he's pointing out who to block. Telling his men who to block. Now watch McNamara come. Boom! Way in the back. Fastest man on the team for Kennedy was right there, did not give up, and he was hustling.
That's great.
That's a great run.
When you're a sub, get your name in that scorebook right away.
Well, not only that, but he almost had a touchdown.
Cancel, another penalty marker is down, and Cancel is down back at the 35.
Now, Rich Mascali, number 12, the quarterback for Rice, starts as a cornerback. So he's no newcomer to punishment. He can dish it out, and he can take it.
But that was nice as he was turning the corner and pointing out to the blockers.
Yeah, boy,
block
this guy, block that guy. You know, if you get that guy, I'll go there, you go there. You know, so but it's really good.
a 5-yard penalty now. Or actually, a holding call against the Garnets, which was declined, but they moved the football back 5 yards, so they must have had an illegal motion there as well.